just want to make sure you felt secure about that. I'm going to add one little surge, a little tiny, tiny little surge. Just give a little nudge when you hear it. This was beautiful. That was beautiful. It was not. I'll try to be more clear. You're both a little bit behind me. Maybe my conductor. If I don't go click, can you put it on the right place? Let's just take that much. We'll get to you, let us sing. Do you have any comments for them on their 3-end web? Do you have any suggestions? What would you like to hear happen that didn't? Start there, Allison.
Well, it doesn't seem as tender as it was before. It just seems, because I think we still need to kind of get into the mood of it, of the piece.
We need the setup of 26 measures.
Because it just doesn't seem like it's like meaning that much. It's just kind of like and wet. Okay. It just needs to be like softer or something.
Well, let's try softer. I think if I would have asked you the same question, you would have said the same thing. Right? I said we're doing it correctly. Better? You like it better? Anything else? Jill, you're shaking your head. What would you like to change? Can you put it into words?
I think it just needs more feeling. I mean,
okay. That's hard, isn't it? Say, feel. You should be feeling something. Yeah. Right now, let's approach it from a different angle. Is there something that they can do with it besides singing the first 26 bars and getting into it? Jenny.
Well, I have a shudder written down.
Shudder?
From Nicky Johnson. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I just think that would be cool.
Where was the shudder? The last one? Oh yeah, that descending one. I feel like the first two sound exactly the same, and I don't think they should. That's what Amy thinks too. Go ahead.
I just think that maybe it has to get feeling more urgency. You know what I mean? At first it should be soft. This is just starting, and then it just starts trying harder and harder in that. And that really, it gets more urgent. I don't know.
So it has to grow, but the pain has to grow.
Yeah, the pain just keeps coming harder and harder, and that's not.
Okay, let's do that. You don't need to look at your music. To sing, were you? Could you tell? I could tell by the sound you made. Did you like that better? Yeah. Now, I have a question for you. This is sort of an interesting thing. Where does this come from? I know it's my son. Where? There's about 60 pages of my son. Can you be specific and use some musical terms? Where does that come from? The beginning of the fugue. It is the beginning of the fugue, right? Why do you think he did that? Here, in the middle of the barren desert, before the real meat of the piece starts, with just this little tiny little eensy-weensy little quote that we're going to hear developed into like, what, 30 measures, 60 measures, something like that? Gabe?
Well, the piece doesn't have like a real distinguished melody. It's not something you can hear and, like whistle, but it kind of gives you like, it's like a preview to what's coming. It gives you this little bit of what's coming, and then when the actual fugue happens, the listener, the audience might not realize it. They've already heard it once. So it just kind of ties things back and forth, ties things together in the piece.
Do you think are you assuming then that the audience will remember it when they hear it? That they're going to say, oh, I remember this
Well,
from earlier?
probably not like, oh, that's where that came from. But they will have heard it, and whether they, consciously remember it like you just said, maybe. But they will have heard it, so they'll recognize it to some extent.
Okay. I really have no idea, by the way. That's why I'm asking. I really have no clue why he did this. So I'm really open to suggestions. Alyssa?
I think it's also, aside from what Dave said, but it's like the message of the piece is the same throughout. It's like he's weeping and he's grieving, and so it's like by having the same thing at the beginning of here, he's kind of saying that this is the same thing. He's weeping here, and later he's like crying, "Oh my son," but the feeling behind it is still the same. So it's kind of tied together musically, but also.
So do you think there's a relationship between what's going on in David's life here and what happens later? And he's trying to say that with the notes that he's...
Yeah.
Bethany?
Well, I think first, like, receiving the news, he internalizes his pain, and I don't know if that's because of pride or shock or whatever, but then as the piece progresses, it seems like he can no longer contain his emotions and they just start spilling out. And so I think that's why it's continually throughout there, and then all of a sudden it's like overwhelming. That's what it is.